On this episode of the Webinar Hacker, we sit down with Tiffany Nwahiri. She's a growth strategist, a CMO, and founder of Third and Taylor. We dig into today's hottest marketing debate. How much automation is too much? Together, we dissect the fine balance between efficiency and true connection in digital outreach, giving you actionable insights on making your webinars and all your virtual communications feel personal, not just personalized. Tune in for expert takes rooted in real world experience. Tiffany Nwahiri, thank you so much. It's great having you.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to dig into this juicy conversation today.
Tiffany, you are asking the question everybody's asking right now. How much automation is too much? Where is that border between authenticity and automation? Because we actually need automation, right?
We need the automation, but we can't do it in exchange for authenticity. So there's a couple of ways to look at this, right? I have a marketing agency. I'm working with clients every day. I've been in head of marketing roles. And so I've been on the side where, we're trying to do more with less and you need the automation. So I've been on both sides of this. And there's a couple of things to think about. You cannot get rid of the authenticity because prospects, customers, potential future customers, prospects that are in the pipeline, they pick up on it, right? And when they pick up with, hey, I thought I was talking to a person and now I'm talking to a robot. Or, when they come up, when they find out these things, it actually shifts the momentum of those conversations. So when I think about how much automation is too much, there's a couple of ways to look at it. I'm always going to want to start with, well, why are we automating it? Is this more of an automation that is for an internal process that's going to help us simply do business better? Is it going to help us deliver our services and products better? I think that makes perfect sense. But when it starts sacrificing personalization, when it starts sacrificing, timeliness, when it stops sounding human, I think that's when we've gone too far. So again, internal processes that are saving time and making us more efficient make perfect sense. But when it's client, customer, prospect facing, that's where we need to do a little bit of evaluation on, is it making the customers, is it making their time more efficient as well? And if it's simply just for the sake of automating, but it's disconnecting you from the customer, that's when I start saying we've gone too far.
You wrote a line that summarizes this that I loved, and I want to quote you. Buyers aren't just evaluating products, they're evaluating trust, culture, and relationships. Where is the line where automated, customer-facing functions should cease to exist to nurture that trust and culture and the relationship?
Yep. So here, if you think about this, in the marketing world, right? I've been working in marketing automation platforms for the last 10 years. And we would build these programs that are, I'm going to send these 5 top of funnel emails, and then there's these 6 middle of funnel emails, and then that's going to trigger this, and then it's the bottom of the funnel. Buyers do not shop like that. You can't just send them 5 emails and it automatically is moving them through the funnel. Not alone, right? And so 10, 12 years ago, that was great because it was one way to automate what we were doing. And then the technology gets better. We can actually start listening to the signals and the triggers. Are they engaging? Are they telling us by other site visits that they've had that there's something that's more interesting to them? And so as the marketers, it's our responsibility to be tracking those signals, to be ingesting those signals, to shift what we're saying and what we're presenting. So in that case, automation is perfect, right? Because I don't want to keep putting you in this box that you have to get these 5 emails, then these 5, and then these 5. When you've gone from reading a blog all the way down to the pricing page, why am I still sending you a top of funnel ebook to download in that instance. And so that's another example of, when it's gone too far. If we're thinking about that buying process, again, they're not only it's not just the product that someone is paying attention to. So if everything you send them is very cookie cutter, every time they see something, it doesn't feel like you're really speaking to them or specifically their pain point, like your product may actually solve what they're looking for, but if you're not building a relationship with them, you're only trying to sell, you're not selling in a personalized way, you will lose the deal.
At the same time, I follow a podcast called The Authority Hacker. It's an online, it's a digital marketing podcast. It's great. I recommend it to everyone. And they actually automate the process of personalizing. They tell you how, and they talk about a lot of stuff. But once they spoke about in a recent episode about how to automate the process of making it personal.
Absolutely.
What do you think about that? How do you approach that, or are you against it? There's no one truth in this.
So here are my thoughts on this, and it may be controversial. So, because I have used some of these tools, I use some of them today, and I'm on the receiving end of some of these AI personalized automations. And so here's the things to be wary of. Some of the personalization, what the AI tools are doing, it's a prompt. Hey, scour their LinkedIn, look for articles about them, look for this, and then say, I saw you do this, so it feels personalized, or you went to this college, right? And it feels personalized, but the thing is that so many people are starting to do it. So now my inbox is filled with 10 people, 100 people from 100 different companies, all saying, hey, Tiffany, I see the work that you do over at Third and Taylor and helping companies grow their revenue. I'd love to. So yes, it's personalized, but you're not saying something different to me than the next
personalized,
person.
But not personal.
It's not, exactly. And yes, absolutely. I think that's the way to look at it. It's not personal. Now, what I have been on the receiving end of something that I loved was a campaign out of Sendoso. And the email came to me and said, hey, Tiffany, I see you're a Spelman grad. Would love to drop something in the mail for you. And they sent me some college paraphernalia. And I was like, shut up. Granted, that's not hard to find. I mean, it's right there on my LinkedIn profile. But they did say, oh, I see you went to Spelman. I'd love to know how you liked it there. By the way, this is what we do. I mean, they were like, let me send you some college paraphernalia. Who's going to say no to that? And I had a conversation. And the next thing I know, the company I was at the time was literally in a 30-day cycle, we were assigning the deal for that product. And so I think what you said actually frames it perfectly. It was personalized, but it wasn't personal. And so you have to remember like how you're going to stand out in an inbox of everyone personalizing this outreach. And so I think that that's the important takeaway there.
And to make it personal, how much human intervention? Because this is a numbers game, right? You gotta, whenever you're promoting a product, a brand, or a webinar, that we promote webinars using emails, and we're competing for the same, time and space than everyone else in your inbox. So in every episode, I cannot stress enough how important email marketing it is to webinars.
Yep.
So how do you go the extra, how much time do you invest per contact, or how do you bridge that gap? You spoke about this detail. I'm going to send you, swag from your school. That's amazing, right? Yeah. What other details have been drawing your attention, have been telling you these guys know their game?
Yeah. So something it stood out in my inbox again is the personalization around something I recently posted or a comment that I made on something on LinkedIn. And again, I know it's automation because I do this for my own business. But when someone says, hey, I saw your comment on so-and-so's post, would love to, connect or learn more about this, or what are your thoughts on this? It's more so because they're starting the the message and trying to open communication. And
Yeah.
it's not just immediately trying to sell me something. And I know that the pitch is going to come, but they're using that automation and they're using the personalization to really just open conversation. I think
Yeah.
where it gets tricky is when everything goes straight into a pitch, but it is a numbers game, right? And so
Yeah.
if I need to send out 10,000 cold messages automated with a little as best of personalization I can do, I might get, 1% of those people who respond. But if you shift your strategy on, I'm just trying to open up the conversation, that is going to require, the human intervention much sooner than creating a 7-step cold outreach that's all about, can I get 10 minutes on your calendar? So if you just start out with that personal feeling conversation, just something to get talking, you're going to get to talking much sooner, and not about a deal, not about a product, but it's just some familiarity there that will require human interaction. And so that is actually how I've been building a lot of my automations. It's actually built to make me have to interact a bit sooner, but I'm interacting with a real person that was responsive to my AI outreach, right? And then the
Yeah.
conversation goes from there. So it's more so, I believe that the human intervention is needed, but you need to automate that sequence to get you into that human intervention much quicker.
So, is there any area we've already been discussing this in a way, but is there any area where you definitely do not let the AI even look at, think about, nowhere near GPT? You don't go close, 100 miles close to which part of your customer facing and or audience facing
Yeah.
communication you do not let go from your personal control or the control of a
So
human.
there's a few things. For me, it really just comes down to, if I were the customer, how would I want to be handled? And so
Mhm.
let's just say something's not going well, for instance. To me, that is a time where I don't want the outreach to be completely AI and automated. Now, the reason that may be also controversial is, as we've seen in like the recent Salesforce layoffs, we're being told we're laying off because we've got AI to do customer service. So on one hand, yes, I feel that you can use AI to get the conversation started, but there's just some magnitude of issues that can't be AI handled from start to finish. And so I would be very particular about how I handle customer concerns with AI and automation, because
Yeah.
that could easily go from, hey, I just had maybe a small problem that now you let AI handle and it's magnified, and now you've lost a customer. So I think that you have to be very mindful how you handle that. Other things that I have not yet totally relinquished, like AI handling too much, is when it comes to money. So I know that there are AI automations to handle like billing and invoicing and things of those nature. So that works for me in my business. But if I am handling now on the flip side, clients' money, it's their ad spend, it's how we're allocating things, I will allow AI to help me evaluate. And I understand there's tools out there that will actually like run it for you. Even within the ad platforms, they've got their AI
Mhm.
angle. Listen, it may be the best thing. I have not got there yet. I am still I am still very much like hands on keyboard. Me and my team are looking at that data. I just believe that that's invaluable at this stage while things are still so new, to have that human eye on it.
Oh, I see. And there's another angle that I'd like to explore with you, because AI is better than humans at many things. And I'm speaking contents, emails, right? I'm not speaking about other more like data science kind of things where
Yeah.
that is obvious, right? But SEO, for example, uh, AIs tend to be a lot better than us, and to understand it and handle it better than us. Um, at the same time, when when an AI writes a text, you just know, right? It's so bland and just as a writer myself, every time I read one, it takes me seconds to realize,
Spot it. Yeah.
yeah, that's a bland write from the GPT,
Yep.
and it uses the grammar and the everything and the words and the formulations and so on that are um, old or
Yeah.
known or visible.
Yep.
So Tiffany, what I'd like to try and kind of bridge here is for those of us writing, maybe writing emails to invite people to our webinars or writing marketing copy that wants to go, above and beyond and not
Hmm.
just comply with
Yep.
with the client. Um, do you have any techniques, suggestions, ideas where we can, of course, leverage the SEO and all the positive attributes of an AI, especially an LLM, right?
Hmm.
Um, but at the same time, we can polish and clean it up, or use other tools that will help us sound human and not
Yes.
robotic.
So there's a couple of things that I rely on when it comes to using AI for content creation, and especially if it's SEO content creation.
Yeah.
So your website, everything that's there for an SEO purpose doesn't have to be, in your main navigation, right? And so maybe some of that content that comes out to be a little bit more bland, but it's great from an SEO perspective as far as having the keywords there. We've actually
Yeah.
been putting that in other sections of the site, so it still is great for Google to index and crawl, to get, show up in some of these AI search results. But when it comes to an ebook, when it comes to white papers, things that we're trying to really add value, I do believe in leveraging AI to like help with the outlines, help with framing the story, help with getting some of the research together, structuring it.
Mm.
But I really like to marry AI's efficiency with human context. And so where I've seen marketing teams just going in, putting in a prompt, I want to write an ebook about data in your CRM, and this is what we need to do. Well, that's a problem. And it spits out something. And to your point, you read a couple of sentences and it's completely AI generated. It's not just marketers that know it's AI generated. Even the common reader is understanding when something's AI generated. And that's going to cause like a distaste in a viewer or reader's mind, right? That's just what happens. So I really say use it for structuring, get the efficiency of getting the outlines together, getting key bullet points, but still utilizing human resources to really pull and frame that story together. Now, on the flip side of that, when it comes to AI can be better than most people, it is it does also rely on who is operating the LLM or who is putting that prompt in.
Yeah.
And so I think with the right training, getting the brand voice really ingrained into that GPT model or whatever you're using, whichever LLM you're using, you actually can get some really good stuff that still comes out of it sounding authentic and almost at the first pass. But it still took that human input drilling it in there. And so
Yeah.
often that's where a lot of marketers are missing. They're just not experts on training a model yet in order to get that brand voice and authenticity out of what comes from that content creation out of AI.
We ran out of time. Tiffany Nwahiri, I could go on with you, but we got to end it here. I'm looking at the
Understand.
time. I'm looking at the clock. So I got to thank you very much. It's been great having you. Hope to talk to you later. When
Yes,
you
thank
come with
you
the
so much.
next, I'm already waiting for your next discoveries and insights
Awesome.
into the next iteration of tech marketing.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much again, Diego, for having me. This was super exciting, and I look forward to speaking again.
Great, thank you. Balance automation with authenticity. Automate internal tasks, but keep customer messages human and personal. Personalized is not personal. Go beyond surface level data. True connection requires genuine, unique touchpoints. AI is a tool, not a substitute. Use AI for efficiency, like content structure, initial outreach, but always add human context and oversight for trust and impact. That's a wrap on this episode of the Webinar Hacker. If you gained a new perspective on striking the right balance between tech and human touch, make sure to subscribe, follow, and share this podcast. Join the conversation and level up your virtual comms wherever you listen. Don't miss the next episode with more actionable strategies and expert insights.